Thank you, Madam Speaker. Colleagues, it is my honor and privilege to bring to you today House Bill 3427, the Student Success Act. 16 months ago, the Joint Committee on Student Success was created to chart a path to this moment. A bipartisan, bicameral group of legislators set out to listen and learn from the students, parents, educators, and communities across our state about the challenges and opportunities of Oregon's public school system. We took 10 trips, traveling nearly 3,000 miles to visit 55 schools in every corner of the state. And everywhere we went, we heard the same clear and consistent messages. We heard that schools need stable and adequate funding to meet the needs of their students. We saw that every district is different and that there can be no one-size-fits-all policy to improve our public education system. We heard that too few young children in our state can access high-quality early childhood education programs, which leaves them starting out from behind when they start kindergarten. Over and over again, we heard that students are dealing with more and higher levels of trauma and need a stronger network of mental and physical health supports to even be able to learn while they are in school. Finally, we heard that opportunity gaps persist, especially for students of color, linguistically diverse students, low-income students, students experiencing homelessness, students with disabilities, and rural students. The bill before you is our policy response to what we heard and saw across the state. The Student Success Act is a dedicated, stable source of revenue that ties funding to outcomes, requires ongoing accountability, and closes the opportunity gaps for historically underserved students. The Student Success Act will bring $2 billion per biennium into the Fund for Student Success, a new account separate from the general fund that holds these revenues specifically for targeted investments to and for Oregon's 197 school districts. At least 20% of the revenue raised by House Bill 3427 will go to the Early Learning Account, which will fund an unprecedented investment in early childhood education. A top priority shared by communities statewide, we know that investing in early learning gives huge returns on that investment down the line, preparing kids with the skills they need to be successful throughout their school years and beyond. These funds will invest in increased high-quality preschool and early learning programs, including Oregon Pre-K, Head Start, and Preschool Promise, as well as fully funding early intervention and early childhood special education, investing in professional and workforce development for early childhood educators, and expanding access to relief nurseries. Up to 30% of new revenue will be invested in statewide education initiatives to provide universal school meals, fully fund Measure 98, support statewide equity initiatives focused on culturally responsive learning, implement suicide prevention, anti-bullying, and other school safety measures, and expand summer learning and dropout prevention programs. And finally, 50% or more will go to the Student Investment Account, which will go straight into the classrooms of our 197 school districts. Districts are required to invest in one of four areas: smaller class sizes, expanded learning time, mental and behavioral health supports, and well-rounded education options like art, music, libraries, and PE. The Student Investment Account will be distributed to districts with extra weight for high poverty areas and will require schools to show their results in graduation rates, third grade reading, ninth grade on track, and attendance, both overall and by student subgroup. The investments in the Student Success Act will be transparent, accountable, and subject to regular audits to ensure funding is spent appropriately and as intended. School districts that don't meet performance targets will be given additional support and oversight through a coaching program to help them improve student outcomes to meet their goals. The Student Success Act is a fully developed, thoughtful policy that offers an unprecedented opportunity to finally give our children the education they deserve and the support they need to succeed. It's a chance to right the wrongs of decades of disinvestment and change the trajectory of our state. I hope you'll join me in this historic moment by voting yes on student success. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you,